Hello, everybody. I am teacher Celeste, and welcome to another session of Tenopy Live Sharing. This is the Upper Primary Tenopy Live Sharing. So this is an ideal short sharing program for Primary 5 and Primary 6. Hi, everyone who's just coming in. Welcome again to Tenopy Live Sharing. Today we are on the third session of a Paper 2 series. Okay, talking about comprehension and talking about hold on a moment, sorry, and talking about cloze passages, okay? So again, we are on the third session. Let me just change the share screen and then we can hop straight into class. Okay, so again, we are, not 12th November, the date is wrong. Okay, so most of you here are already Tenopy students and you know how to behave in an online class. Remember that you are free to input any questions at any time in the chat box, okay? So again, this is how you are going to speak to me to ask or answer questions. And I encourage you to be as proactive as you can in these 15 minutes because these will really help you to get the best learning experience out of this short period, okay? So now in the chat as well, do not submit anything repetitive or irrelevant, but so far, I think all of you guys from the past two sessions have been very well behaved, okay? No one has been spamming, which is really good. Keep up the good job, everyone. Now, if you have any questions to ask, you can get my attention by raising your hand, okay? So if you raise your hand, I will take it as you have a question and I will pause and wait for you to type out your question, okay? Unless you want to use the microphone, that is also fine. Remember that if you want to say something on the microphone, all you need to do is to just type mic in the chat box and I will unmute you. So of course, remember to be polite to each other. You only had the teacher in your class and your classmates are not. You won't see what your classmates type. So, but also remember to always be polite to one another. If you have any technical trouble, there is no TA in this class. So please exit and rejoin the session to reset the settings, okay? So if you have any trouble, just leave the room and then come back through the same link again. It should all be fine. Now, remember that we are on the third session today. We're still talking about open-ended comprehension questions. Today, we are wrapping up the first half of the TLS series here with comprehension. So for the next 3 weeks after this, we are going to talk about cloze passages, okay? Another big giant in your English paper 2. So one more lesson today on how we should paraphrase our answer in order to be accurate and concise. Why do we need to be accurate and concise? Stay tuned. I'm going to explain it to you in a bit. So we're talking today about paraphrasing our answers. Last week we did talk about paraphrasing a little bit, but specifically today we're going to learn how to be concise, means to be very clear with what we want to say and to assess our answers for accuracy. Why must we do that? First of all, why do we need to check? All these things that we talk about, being concise, being accurate with your answers, they all come in with the checking process, okay? So because once we have written our answers, we think, that's it. I have given my answer. Now I can move on to the next question, or I can hand up my paper now. But wait, remember to check your papers, okay? How many of you here always check your papers before handing up? Can you raise your hand? Let me just see who has this habit. Who is very meticulous, who is very hardworking and checks your paper before handing up the exam paper. Very good. I see a lot of you raising your hand. That should be the way, okay? You should check your answers before handing out the paper to check whether your answer covers what you are supposed to talk about. Wayne says, not me. Oh dear, Wayne. I hope you pick up the habit sometime, okay? Ihan says, who will not check? Well, apparently Wayne. While there are some students who don't check, and it's not just about checking your exam papers, everyone. It's also about checking your homework, okay? Because your teachers at Tenopy know that there are many of you. I'm not saying anyone in here. I'm saying that there are many of us who hand in your homework without checking your answers and find that your answers are really careless, okay? And it is a result of not checking your answers. So anyway, checking ensures with an S that we identify any possible errors in our answer. It could be spelling errors, it could be grammatical errors. Okay, so this checking process is very important. I cannot stress this enough. Wayne says I check in exam only. Emphasis on only. Okay, that's good. It ensures that we have covered all the areas that need to be explained. All right, so when we have a comprehension question, we always need to be sure that we have covered everything that we should be talking about in order to satisfy the question. All right, so we're going to do a little bit of an exercise to talk about the accuracy in answering questions. Okay, so just with accuracy first. Oops, accuracy. All right, teachers letter spelling is not very accurate. All right, or rather typing is not very accurate. So let's say, for example, everyone, if someone asks you, what did you have for lunch? Which is the answer that satisfies what the question is looking for? Do we say, I like to eat Japanese food? I went to the nearby hawker center for lunch. I cooked some pasta and grilled chicken for myself. Now, when someone asks you, what did you have for lunch? Which of these answers here is the most accurate and satisfies what the question is looking for? When someone asks you, what do you have for lunch? What are they talking about? What is the kind of answer they want? All right, I'm seeing very good answers in all of you right now. There's only one answer, Tihan. Only one of these that you said so is correct. Very good, Victoria. When they ask you, what did you have for lunch? They want to know about the food. All right. So some of you are saying B, some of you are saying C. I'm very glad that none of you said A, because this is totally out of point. All right. This is totally inaccurate. This is not what the person is looking for. The person wants to know what kind of food you had for lunch. So by saying I went to the hawker center for lunch, does it answer? Yes, a little bit, but it still doesn't answer the question of what you had for lunch. So the hawker center has many different kinds of food. There's char kway teow, there's chicken rice, there's so many things. So by saying I went to the hawker center for lunch does not answer the question. This is inaccurate, okay? And you might think, it is so obvious that it is C. But you see, the problem that we have with answering open-ended comprehension questions is that we always answer inaccurately, and we give an answer that has nothing to do with the question, or we give an answer that does not answer the question entirely. That's the problem. So B would be a very good example of an incomplete answer, okay? Which is a problem that a lot of us have when we do open-ended comprehension questions, okay? B is an incomplete answer. We want to know what food you ate. So by saying I cooked some pasta and grilled chicken for myself, that is very specific about what you had. You said you cooked, and then cooked what? I cooked pasta and grilled some chicken. All right, so this is the complete answer. Let's try another one. If someone asks you, do you know if it will be sunny tomorrow? Sorry for all these errors. Do you know if it will be sunny tomorrow? What do you say to this question? I think it looks pretty sunny today, or I am planning to go to the beach tomorrow, or I could check with Google and see what the forecast is, or D says, I hope so. It's been raining too much lately. Okay, guys, your answers are coming in really fast. I love this. Let's see. I'm seeing again 2 kinds of answers. Very good. Jihan says obviously one of the answers. Yep. Okay. Thank you, everyone. Now, I am very glad again that no one said it was A, because A is totally unrelated. Do you know if it will be sunny tomorrow? I think it looks pretty sunny today. Totally unrelated. Okay, so this is not the accurate answer that we're looking for. So nobody said B either, which I am really happy about. I am planning to go to the beach tomorrow. Yeah, it could be, you want to go to the beach tomorrow. That is a fact, but it does not satisfy the question. The person is asking you, do you know if it will be sunny tomorrow? And then you say, yeah, I'm planning to go to the beach. So this, by saying this, you are saying, yeah, I think it will be sunny because I am going to the beach. But it doesn't answer the question still. Now, look at C. I could check with Google and see what the forecast is. So this is a solution. You're saying, I don't know, but I will check. All right. So this one is the most accurate one. Okay, this is the accurate response. I'm not going to say an answer, but this is the accurate response that we're looking for, because when someone asks you, you could say you don't know, but you will find out. Okay, so C is the answer we're looking for. Now, a lot of you say D as well. Now, D is again a little bit incomplete. I hope so. It's been raining too much lately. So it says here, do you know? All right, there's a difference between knowing and hoping. Okay, do you agree with me? There's a difference between knowing and hoping, right? Do you know if it will be sunny tomorrow? I hope so. By saying I hope so does not answer the question. Okay, so D is also an inaccurate answer. All right, so when people ask us questions, sometimes we have to understand what this person is trying to find out. Similarly, when we do comprehension questions, we have to know what the question is looking for in order to give the most accurate answer we can. Now, for the past two lessons, we have been reading this passage. I know that some of you here are new and here for the first time. So I am going to read through this passage right here, and we are going to answer this one question. We have already done question one in the previous weeks. For those of you who are here for the first time, question one is already complete. Today we're going to focus on question two. So listen to this passage. After what seemed like ages, it was down to one person standing between Joey and his turn at the cashier. Joey regretted miserably chugging down an entire bottle of water at lunch just before entering the supermarket. That miscalculation was now haunting him, as he could not bear to give up his place in the queue. Just a few more minutes, he told himself as he eyed the toilet signage in the distance. He heaved his trolley forward, carefully but hastily. It was so full that some items were hanging over the edge like an avalanche waiting to happen. One by one, the cashier scanned the almost endless heap of groceries. Joey reached into his pocket to get his wallet ready, but found himself grabbing air. Then he patted all the other pockets of his pants desperately, but the familiar lump he was seeking was nowhere to be felt. Oh dear. And then Ihan says, sad life. Yeah, sad life, isn't it? Imagine being alone, and he's alone. There's no one there to guard his place in the queue while he rushes to the toilet. All right, so now the question is, explain why Joey patted all the other pockets of his pants desperately. Now take note, everyone, that this is a 2-mark question. Most open-ended questions are 2 marks. Okay, so remember that you have to have 2 parts to the question, or rather it needs to be a really detailed answer. Okay, so explain why is a very key word that we need to know. So when we say explain why, it means immediately that this is an inference question. An inference question is one where the answer is not in the text. We have to think about the answer from the clues that we get from the text. Now, in the previous class, we all also agreed that this is a key sentence. Joey reached into his pocket to get his wallet ready, but found himself grabbing air. And then he patted his pants, all the other pockets of his pants desperately. Okay, so we have 2 different actions here to explain, don't you think? We have to talk about why he patted all the other pockets in his pants and why was it desperately. Okay, we have 2 things to explain here. If we can explain these 2 things, we secure our 2 marks. Okay, of course, to explain accurately. So that is what we're going to do. Remember this table? We are going to paraphrase the answer based on the clues that we have in the passage. So we have something about grabbing air, right? Joey reached into his pocket, but found himself grabbing air. What does that mean? Just focus on this phrase first, okay? Grabbing air. What does that mean? Okay, I see some of you already answering. Thank you very much. But can you just tell me what does grabbing air show us? Sihan says there is nothing there. Very good. What is nothing? What is the nothing? Or rather, what was he looking for and then found that there's nothing? Very good. His wallet was not in his pocket. So we can say Joey's wallet was not in his pocket. Okay, when we say grabbing air, that is an expression for grabbing nothing. Okay, so when we say grabbing air, we can say grabbing nothing. It's an expression, all right? Again, you can use it in your composition, grabbing nothing. So the phrase here, grabbing air, tells us clearly that Joey's wallet was not in his pocket, right? So now we also know that he patted all the other pockets of his pants desperately. he's a guy, right? Joey's a guy. His pants probably has more pockets than women. So why did he do that? Why would he pack all the other pockets of his pants? What was he trying to do? Okay, thank you, Sharon and Tihan and Victoria. Yeah, he wants to look for his wallet. Okay, Ihan, give me a moment. Okay, you gave me the whole answer. Very good. He was looking for his wallet, but it's not just looking. He was desperately looking. So to paraphrase this, we could say he quickly looked. Not say looked because he's not using his eye. He's using his hands, right? Felt through the other pockets, in search for his wallet. Okay, so the act of desperately doing it says that he's doing it really quickly because he's in a moment where he's panicking already. So he quickly felt through, packed everything, packed his backside, packed his sides, maybe even packed his chest if there's a pocket on his shirt. You know, you can imagine it, right? So now, again, everyone, we have paraphrased. Just a reminder, everyone, when we paraphrase, we are demonstrating understanding, okay? Demonstrating understanding. The reason we have to paraphrase is because sometimes the answer that is given to us in the passage does not accurately answer the question. So we have to paraphrase it in order to suit the question. So we talked about grabbing air, we talked about him patting all the other pockets, and we paraphrase them. So when you want to answer a question, you have to split up your answer, okay? And think about how you can answer each part. Finally, the final step is to piece the answers together. Okay, so now this is where I want you guys to piece it together. I have given you a clue. Use the words so, he, something, okay? So use this information that we have right here in this column and piece your answer together so that you can get your full 2 marks answer, okay? I'm going to give you some time to type while I look at your friends' answers. Ihan, your answer is way too long. You need to rephrase your answer a little bit, okay? There's some information there that is not necessary. Thank you, Jaden. Very nice. You might want to replace some of the words, though. It's a bit repetitive. There's just one word, Jaden, that is repetitive. You can change it to a pronoun. Okay, well done, guys. So what I'm seeing is that we all agree that Joey's wallet was not in his pocket goes in the first portion, right? So Joey's wallet was not in his pocket, so then it results in him doing something else, right? So what did he do now? He quickly felt through the other pockets, pockets in search. Or now I'm going to stop here first. Do you think we should say it or should we say his wallet? What should we say right here? Okay, Tihanya is the mic. Just give me a moment, okay? Should we say it or should we say his wallet? All right, Tihan, what's up?
Hello.
Hi, Tihan.
So, I think it should be, in search of his wallet because it doesn't seem to be like showing what is the it. It's like his shoe, his badge, like something like that.
I get what you mean, but see, let me explain, okay, Tihan? Thank you very much. All right. So you see, we say that Joey's wallet was not in his pocket. So he quickly felt through the other pockets in search for it. Okay, so let me just explain why this can be it. If you had written wallet, that will also be correct. Okay, but in order to make it sound less repetitive, we can say it. For example, I have a pet cat and love to play, and I have a pet cat and I love to play with it. It is the same concept. If we say something like, I have a pet cat and I love to play with my pet cat, it sounds really repetitive. Okay, so don't be afraid to change repeated words to pronouns. Okay, as long as you are clear, because right now the wallet is the only object in the sentence. It is definitely not pocket. Okay, you can't search your pockets for your pockets, right? So wallet is the only object in the sentence right now. So it's very clear that the word it refers to pocket. All right. So with that, everyone, we have come to the end of today's Tenepy live sharing. Remember that we have classes as well. I know that some of you have already signed up for our classes, and I hope to see you guys next year. Yeah, Ihan, why is it? Why you like what? All right, so we have other English, math, science classes. So now, Ihan, why are you so surprised? It's only a 15-minute session. Okay, so if you want to know more about TLS, you can get your parents now to scan this one. I know some of you are already in the group. Yes, Tihan, it's already the end. It's only a 15-minute session. You guys are so surprised. Okay, so now remember that we have other workshops that are already going on right now. I know some of you are already in the workshops. Your names look really familiar. Okay, so if you have any questions about Tenepy classes, if you have any questions about Tenepy classes, you can scan this code right here to find out more. All right, I'm going to leave this on the screen right now. If you guys don't want to scan, if you guys are done scanning this or already have the information that you need, you may go. Okay, we have come to the end of Tenepy live sharing. I will see you guys next week. All right. Goodbye, everybody.